Radio Rahim with Joseph Parker, getting ready for another incredible event, Manchester Arena, where they're saying that your opponent is going to be at home. Are you a stranger to this territory?
Listen, I'm very familiar with Manchester Arena. It feels like my home. I fought here. This will be my 5th fight here. So I'm very familiar with the arena, very familiar with a lot of the fans and supporters that come out to support the fights, and it's not a strange place for me.
Massey feels like this is the opportunity of his life. This is the moment that he's described as his lottery ticket. And I know that you have more experience, but you also have to be experienced with that feeling when it's young and fresh for you and you're taking on a challenge that might be bigger than one you've ever had. Is that something you have to consider when your opponent has that kind of motivation?
It's a big challenge for him, but he's taken it with both hands, and he's confident. And if he wasn't confident, he wouldn't be stepping up in the heavyweight division. But I'm going to show him what a real heavyweight fight's like. I do back myself, and I got, listen, if not the same, probably better hand speed. You know, I got the fitness to go. I didn't show in the last fight, the fitness, and I was physically not really there. But I have the fitness to go 10, 12 rounds. I've done it many times. I don't want it to go the distance. I want to be the aggressor. I want to put it on him and show him, this is a different weight class.
You talked about the last fight, and it was a tough fight, a brutal fight. Coming back from a defeat like that has to be not just physically, but emotionally challenging. What's the distance been like? Not really.
Not challenging at all. I know what I can do when I'm 100%, and I wasn't 100 physically. Mentally and with heart took me the whole way, and I'm proud of my efforts on that day. I'm happy for Joyce. He's a tough man, a beast of a fighter. But I'd like to challenge him again in the future. I know I have to work my way back up to the top, and it'd be nice. If no one else was to fight him, I'll put up my hand after I fight Jack Massey.
What was the physical challenge that prevented you from being your best on the night?
Sick.
What was it?
Illness.
Oh, yes.
Presley, what did I have? What did I have on fight night? Whatever.
What was the illness that he was suffering with him?
Chest infection.
Chest infection?
Yeah.
A chest infection on fight night.
Well, leading into the fight. So physically I wasn't the best, but I put up the best effort I could, and I wasn't good enough on the day,
Now, you have an opponent in Massey that, like you say, is stepping up into the weight division of heavyweight. There is no limit for you and how big you can be. Most heavyweights, you would think, would just use size and brawn to beat him, and you're coming down in weight.
Yeah, listen, he's going to bring, that's a little bit of unknown. Because he's cruiserweight. Is he going to bring the same speed? Is he going to be a lot heavier? So what we've done in camp is just be comfortable in the weight that we're at. Good movement, good speed, good combinations, and fit to go the rounds.
You feel like it's not necessarily power, but speed and agility that are the key to this fight?
Listen, speed brings power. And listen, it'd be nice to have good movement, avoid all those punches that's coming my way, and give them straight back in his face.
I love talking to heavyweights on Fight Week because they're always talking about how they're able to eat burgers and blow up. But we've got Presley. Let me bring in your chef here and talk about the conditioning for this heavyweight to actually slim down and be a little bit faster and leaner for Saturday night.
Yeah, we just lowered our calories a little bit, but we just maintained fueling for each workout properly. Just making sure you had the right carbs, right proteins, all that, so it's just so he's an engine. He's got an engine all night.
You know where I learned this from? Tyson Fury. I joined one of his camps leading into Dillian White, and he had a private chef cooking all his meals, and I said to myself, it makes a difference. So now I have Presley here, very thankful for him to be here. He's been here for 6 months. He left his family in the US, and he's been here for my camp, Tyson's camp, then my camp again. So very happy to have him here, and he makes a big difference.
And lastly, thank you, Presley.
Thank you.
Amazing. Lastly, that Tyson Fury connection, being in training camp for Christmas. I've heard some stories about how the two of you have gotten together and he somehow saved your Christmas. Would you tell us about that?
Christmas, I'm away from my wife and kids, so everyone in Morecambe is very friendly, and it feels like family now. Tyson and his family, and Joe Crookall and his family. So I spend the morning with my mate Joe Crookall, then I spend the evening with Tyson and his family. And it was just great to be in two family environments where I felt like I was, even though I wasn't with my family, I was with a family. so it was great. It was a great environment to be in. So thank you, Tyson, and thank you, Joe.
And thank you, Joseph Parker. Radio Rahim with Joseph Parker this Saturday night at Manchester Arena. Can't wait for the action.